Now here we have the seated dumbbell shoulder press. Now, depending on how much shoulder mobility you have, will justify the angle of your bench. So what you want to do is bring the bench all the way upright, have a seat, and then we're going to bring your arms overhead. Now, if you're a person with limited range of motion, you'll instantly be able to tell, because as soon as you bring your arms overhead to get a little bit more of an angle, you'll retract your back and you'll arch all that pressure into that lower back. So if you're a person who extends through the lower back, if you find that your bum's coming off to the edge of the seat, or your lower back's taking a lot of beating while you're doing the overhead press, it might be because you haven't got the adequate shoulder mobility for that bench position. So what you want to do is actually bring the bench into a slightly more declined position or inclined position, whichever way you want to call it. And you want to do that assessment again. Okay, so for me, I would say smidge more backwards. And now I'm actually in a position where I'm comfortable overhead. Nothing feels jammed up, front delt doesn't feel like it's taken over too much. And I can comfortably move into that press position without worrying about deteriorating my shoulders over time, and without worrying about excessive strain on my lower back. So I'm gonna move into position. Elbows flared out slightly, not too much. But I'm gonna press. So making sure the arms come back to a 90-degree angle, and then drive over head. Okay. Now the key things to remember with this movement is to not go below your active range of motion, okay? So when you feel like the shoulders are starting to move into a slightly more rotated position, forward, stop the movement, carry on. Stop the movement, carry on. Okay? Now another alternative to this movement is our neutral press. The neutral press biases more of the front delt and the tricep, but it does work the entire shoulder. It's just a little bit more biased into those specific muscles. So the way we perform that, same exact cues, same position. This time we're gonna drive upwards, making sure as we come down, we keep the elbows facing forward. The elbows will naturally rotate out to the side as you go overhead, but just try and control the entire movement. Okay? So common mistakes we see when performing this movement, okay, is, like I said, excessive range of movement on the way down, not staying into your active range of motion, putting too much stress on your shoulders. Another common mistake we see is rounding at the top of the movement, okay? So not making sure the shoulders stay retracted and giving excessive range of motion at the top of that position, okay? Another common mistake we see is shortening the range of motion to the point where it looks like a pulse and not fully executing full ROM. And that is the seated dumbbell shoulder press.